Hi everyone, welcome to Chapter 1 for Microsoft PowerPoint 2016 Module 1. I'm following along with the SAM illustrated text. Our first chapter for PowerPoint is creating a presentation in PowerPoint 2016. And before you get started, we first need to define what presentation software is. And so presentation software, also called presentation graphic software, is a computer program that you use to organize and present information to others. Presentations are typically in a slideshow, and as you can see, I created a simple 3 slides right here, and I'm just reading off of and putting the information from your text as outlined into 3 simple slides and to present this information to you. So as you can see, that's what I've done here. So whether you're going to be explaining a new product or modeling a meeting, the presentation software can help you effectively communicate your ideas. And so using PowerPoint, you can complete the following tasks. We can enter text and edit text easily. We can change the appearance of our information. We can organize and arrange information. We can include information from other sources, whether that be from Microsoft Word, from Excel, from the internet, getting online images and video. We can present the information in a variety of ways. And finally, we can collaborate with others on a presentation. So these are just some of the tasks that you can complete using PowerPoint. Before we get started, it's also important to think about planning an effective presentation. So in planning, it's important to first and foremost determine and outline the message that you want to communicate. The more time that you take in developing the message and the outline, the better your presentation will be in the end. The presentation with a clear message that reads like a story and illustrated with the appropriate visual aids will have a greater impact on your audience. You also want to make sure that you identify the audience, when, where, and how you are going to, let's actually check that, when and where and how you're going to give the presentation. So the audience and the delivery location are going to be major factors in the type of presentation that you create. Next, you want to just determine the type of output. Output choices for a presentation may include black and white or color handouts for the audience members. It may be an on-screen slideshow. It might even be a video or an online broadcast. So it really depends upon, again, your audience, which would determine the type of output. Finally, we want to look at the design. Visual appeal and graphics and presentation design, they work well together to communicate your message. And you want to choose a professionally designed theme that comes with PowerPoint. These templates are nice because they give you a jump start. Once you are more comfortable working in PowerPoint, you can modify those, and you can perhaps even create your own. All right, so let's get started by examining the PowerPoint window. And as we see, we have a quick slide, 3 slides that I created. However, we will be creating a brand new presentation once we begin the actual assignment itself. However, let's take a look at the PowerPoint window. When we first start PowerPoint, we have the ability to choose what kind of presentation we want. So I'm going to actually backpedal here and go to New, and you can see these are all the different templates that we can choose from. Remember that. We saw this. This should not be unfamiliar to you. You saw this in Microsoft Word as well as in Excel. We have different views, and what we are looking at right now is the normal view. Remember, in Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel, we could alter our view or change our view down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Here we see there's our normal view, there's our slide sorter, and we have a reading view, and then finally a slideshow view. Off to the right, we also have our zoom control. Again, this should not be unfamiliar to you because you saw this in Microsoft Excel, you saw it in Microsoft Word. In the top right corner, we have our minimize, our restore down, and we have our close. Remember, this is that little icon that if accidentally our toolbar gets hidden, this is where we can go back to restore that. On the far left side, we have our quick access toolbar, and you can see that I have some of additional tools that are pinned there. Remember, we call these tabs. The tabs display ribbons. The ribbons are broken down into groups, and inside each group is a series of tools. We refer to this area over here as our slides tab. These individual slides, we refer to these as thumbnails. This is the area where we work in our workspace for working on our actual slides. Down below we have our status, seeing I'm currently on slide 3 of 3. And again, this is our work area, sometimes also referred to as the slide pane. And I think I covered just about everything that we want to discuss in here. I'm going to pop on back to the Home tab. I also want to point out to you that the rulers are visible. So there's my horizontal ruler. There is my vertical ruler. All right. So now the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to create a brand new presentation. So I'm going to go to File and New, and I'm going to create a blank presentation. And so now I have a brand new presentation. When we start a blank presentation, that empty title slide appears in a normal view. And the title slide has two parts. It has two text placeholders. We refer to these areas wherever we see information where we can add something as a placeholder. And in this case, this is referred to as a text placeholder. The top one is our title, and our lower one is our subtitle. So I'm going to place my pointer over that title placeholder that's labeled click to add title, and as soon as I click in that space, that text disappears because it's waiting for me to enter in some information. Notice as I click out of there that text returns, but notice in my thumbnail that text is not displayed in the actual image itself. So that's important to note. As soon as I type in an actual title here, I will see the title appear in my thumbnail. So in my title placeholder, in that slide pane, we're going to take the insertion point, which is now I see I have a blinking vertical line. That's going to indicate where the text is going to appear when I enter in that information. So you notice that by default, it is going to be centered in that box. We are going to type in Community Development Projects Kenya. So we notice that PowerPoint will wrap that text to the second line, and it's also going to center align that text within the placeholder. We refer to this as a text object. So now let's click down below, and notice as I type that information in, my thumbnail now displays what is typed in on my actual slide. Notice it says click to add subtitle down in the subtitle text placeholder. However, in my actual thumbnail, I don't see that because that's not going to be visible. This is just a little tip for us to add a subtitle if we so choose. But and we are going to actually add a subtitle. So first we will type presented by. I'm going to hit the enter key. We're going to type in the reason to go. Marketing department. They've abbreviated department, and then we're going to type in your name. You'll notice as you type in that final line that the box itself adjusts the font sizes there. So we have that. There was that auto fit option. It's actually right over here. We're actually going to click that. There's our auto fit option. We're going to click on that, and they want us to actually, instead of allowing it to adjust, because it's automatically set to auto fit to the size of that placeholder, we want to choose the option that says stop. So you'll notice that it's going to get a little bit larger. So in this subtitle text object, we want to take our cursor to the right of the word education. Let's see. I'm looking for the word education and I don't see it, so I'm just going to pause the video for 1 second. Alrighty, I saw my arrow. We were supposed to enter in another line up here called Community Health Education. And actually you can see how that everything falls through, and which makes sense as to why we wanted to stop fitting. So we'll keep that setting as it is. So now next in our instruction, they ask us to come back, and we actually remove this entire line. All right. So I was looking at the images in the text and not following along with the step-by-step instructions. So I apologize. That is my error. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the backspace, and now that information is removed. We're going to go ahead and save this, so I can either choose my save icon, which will prompt a save as. I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. Alright, now we're going to add a new slide. Usually when we add a new slide to a presentation, we have a nice idea, we have an idea actually of what we want that slide to look like. So there are different types of layouts. We are just simply going to click New Slide, and it will give us our default layout, which is a title content. So we have a title, and then we have some content down below. In my content placeholder at the top, I'm going to type in priority projects. So my title area, priority projects. I spelled that wrong, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick right click to fix that. And now I'm going to click in my bottom placeholder. And notice that we do have some options. I can choose to create a bullet list, or I have some other options over here. We will touch upon each of these in the next 3 to 4 labs that we have for PowerPoint. So I'm going to, my first bullet is going to be well water production. And I'll hit my enter key. Now notice that the insertion point appears directly below the text when I hit the enter key, and a new first level bullet is automatically going to be typed. Automatically appears. I'm going to choose now to hit the tab key on my keyboard. A new first level bullet is going to be indented, and it becomes a second level bullet. So in here I'm going to type inadequate water supply. I'll hit the enter key again, and now I want to decrease the list level. So I need to take my mouse, come up to my paragraph group, and choose the icon to decrease the list level, which changes now to a second level bullet into a first level bullet. I will then add a new bullet item, sustainable farming methods. I now want to go to the new slide list arrow. So if I click the icon, it's going to give me a default title content. If I want to choose the type of slide that I want to enter, I want to select the arrow. So I see the gallery of options. I want to select a to content slide layout. So I'll choose a to content slide, and in my title placeholder I'm going to type in unique travel experience. So a new slide with a title placeholder and two content placeholders appear as my third slide, and the type that we just typed is in my title area. We're going to click in. This is not a to content, so actually we can change this without having to start over. So I'm going to go up to my layout and choose a to content. That's what I should have chosen from the start. It's going to change that. So you can see we're okay. So I'm now going to click in that left content placeholder. I'm going to type in adventurous travel destinations. I'm going to hit the enter key, and I'm going to choose the increase list level. Again, that is up on my home tab in the paragraph group. That indents my list level by 1, and I will add a bullet here. Serve others in desperate need. I'm going to hit the enter key and type another bullet, satisfaction of helping your fellow man. I am going to go back up and do a quick fix of that misspelling there. Alright, so I'm going to go up to my taskbar, save my changes. Now that I've gotten my information in here, we can go and apply a design theme. So PowerPoint provides many design themes, and this should not again be unfamiliar to us because we're familiar with different themes in Word, as we learned also in Microsoft Excel. So the themes help you quickly create a professional and a contemporary looking presentation. The theme itself will include a set of 12 coordinated colors for text and fill and line and shadow, and we call these theme colors. We have a set of fonts and font titles and other text, and we call those theme fonts. And we also have a set of lines and fills, and we refer to those as theme effects. So all of these working together create a cohesive look. So each theme itself will have at least 4 custom coordinated variants that's going to provide you with additional options. Alright, so let's click on our slide 1 thumbnail. So I'll come over to my slide pane and select slide 1. I want to go up to my design tab on the ribbon. So I'll activate my design tab. And on the ribbon I want to point to my themes group, and I want to select the theme called Integral. So in order to figure out which one that is, I need to hover over and wait for this green tip to appear. And here it is right here. There is the Integral theme. So as you notice, as I hover over any of these, I get that live preview on the existing slide. Ultimately, we're going to select the WISP theme. And as you can see, I'm just hovering over these so I can locate the WISP theme. I think it's this one right here. There we go. So ultimately we're going to commit. So now I'm going to click the button, and notice as I select that, it automatically applies that theme to all the slides in my show. So I'm going to choose the More option over here, and you'll notice that the gallery windows near the top of the gallery in this presentation is that current theme that's applied. So I see this presentation and I see the theme that's actually applied. We're going to right-click on the slice theme. So let me come back down here. Let me locate the slice theme. I'm going to do a right-click this time. And I want to say apply this to the selected slides. And notice that I was able to change just one slide in the presentation by right-clicking on that particular theme. Let's go back up to our slice. Again, I'm going to do a right-click, and this time I'm going to say apply to all slides. And now that's chosen to apply that theme to every slide on there. So now as I navigate through my presentation, I see that that has been changed, but I also can see that because I have access to my slide pane. Now we're going to take a look at the different presentation views. Again, we can use the taskbar down below, or we can go up to our View tab, and in our Presentation Views group, we see the different options that we have. There is an option called an outline view. We don't have an outline view displayed down here, so whenever we do need to go to an outline view, we need to come up to the View tab to the Presentation Views group. And what this does is it presents our information in an outline, as an outline. So we see that the presentation text is in an outline pane on the left side instead of seeing an actual thumbnail. Notice that our status bar indicates the number of slides that we're viewing and the total number of slides in the presentation. Again, so right down here I'm currently on slide number 1, slide 1 of 3. So it counts how many total I have and then lets me know what current slide I am on in that, wherever my cursor happens to be placed. You can see as I'm clicking through them, the status bar down below will change. I want to choose the small icon next to the slide 2, which is this little icon right here. I'm going to select that small icon, and I want to click the slide sorter button, which is down here, or I can come up here on my presentation. So the slide sorter view opens and it displays the thumbnail of each slide in the presentation in the window. And we can, from here, we can examine the flow of our slides. We can drag any slide or group slide to rearrange the order of the slides in our presentation. If I want to return to my presentation, I can simply double click and that will return me to a normal view. Now we can take a look at our reading view. So the reading view allows you to review your presentation or to show the presentation to show someone your presentation directly on your computer. The status bar at the bottom it makes it easier for you to move between your slides. Having the down here, you can see you have the options that you can navigate between the slides itself. We can try the slide show button, and that will show the entire slide as it is projected onto the screen. So in this view you can practice running through your slides as it would appear in a slideshow. So you want to, you can just click through the slide in order to get through. Last, we have our Notes page button. This is also in our presentation group. We're not going to see that displayed down below, but we still will see that displayed up here. The Notes page view shows a reduced image of the current slide above a large text placeholder, and here you can enter text in the placeholder and then print the Notes page for your use. Down here is where you would add your notes. We want to go back to a normal view. I will just select the normal view from my taskbar over here, or I can come back using a normal view out of from the View tab is going to actually bring me back to my thumbnails view, which is the view that we want to be currently at. The last thing we want to look at is some of our printing options. So let's go ahead before we do anything else and choose a save. And now let's go to File and Print. The print window will open Notice that the Print Preview pane on the right of the window will display the first slide in the presentation. Well, I'm currently on slide 3 because that's what I currently have selected. So let's click on slide 1 and go back to a file and print so I see slide 1. If I do not have a color printer attached, I'm going to see shades of gray. I have a color printer attached, so I'm going to see color images. And I can choose the next to navigate through and look at full-size pages of my slides. If I wanted to print, I would choose print. Notice my different options, printing all the slides. If I chose to print selected slides, I could number them and specify which slides I wanted, or as you can see in there, you can enter a range of numbers. Either in the example there, I could print slides 1, slides 3, and slides 5 through 12 if I actually had that many slides. So they're just giving you an example that you could select a range or just individual. If you don't specify how you are going to print these, then you're going to get full page slides. So this is important to take a look at this option here. So the print layout gallery opens, and here you can specify what you want to print. Do you want to print slides? Do you want to print notes pages? Do you want to print the outline? Maybe you want to show handouts, and maybe you want to have 2 on a page or 6 on a page, horizontally, vertically, however you would like those to print. So we are deciding that we are going to choose 3 slides, and under the color we want to make sure that we are actually printing this out in black and white, and we'll see how that changes. And so the PowerPoint will remove the color. It'll display the slide as a thumbnail next to the blank slides, as we see here. And then we can choose to print. Now I'm not going to print because I don't actually want to print this, but you can go ahead and print. We are actually done, so I'm going to hit my back button, and I'm going to save my changes. And you can, if you recall, we should have started this file from SAM. I did not do that. However, for grading purposes, I will want you to use the start file from SAM, and that will make more sense as I do this with you in class. All right, so that concludes the Chapter 1 for PowerPoint.